Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Every day, we are faced with choices. Some are small, what we eat for breakfast, whether we hit snooze or get up on time. Others are monumental, how we respond when life throws challenges at us, when our plans crumble, or when people test our patience. And within every choice lies a profound truth. There are two ways to live, reactively or proactively. Reactive people live life at the mercy of circumstances. They blame others, complain about situations, and wait for external conditions to dictate their mood and actions. Their energy is spent reacting to problems rather than creating solutions. Imagine a leaf caught in the wind, tossed around helplessly. This is how a reactive life feels. Proactive people, on the other hand, recognize that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. They take responsibility for their lives. They focus on what they can influence, rather than wasting energy on things beyond their control. Like a captain steering a ship through stormy seas, they navigate life with intention, courage, and resilience. Think for a moment about your own life. When you face challenges, do you blame others or circumstances? Or do you pause, assess, and act in alignment with your values and goals? The difference is subtle, but the impact is enormous. Reactive behavior leads to frustration, resentment, and stagnation. Proactive behavior leads to growth, achievement, and freedom. Proactivity doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending challenges don't exist. It means choosing your response consciously, shaping your own destiny, and refusing to be a prisoner of the environment around you. It means saying, I am the creator of my life, not a victim of it. The remarkable thing is that proactivity is a skill, one that can be cultivated. Start by noticing your language. Reactive people say, or if only. Proactive people say, I choose, and I will then act. Take small steps toward responsibility, accountability, and ownership. Over time, these choices compound into a life of influence, integrity, and purpose. So I ask you today, which one are you? Are you reacting to life, or are you proactively shaping it? The choice is yours. And remember, the moment you decide to take responsibility, to act rather than react, you begin to transform your life in ways you never thought possible, because the power to change, to grow, and to thrive has always been in your hands. Reactive versus proactive mindset is one of the most defining aspects of how people navigate their lives. A reactive person tends to believe that life happens to them. Their emotions, actions, and decisions are shaped primarily by external forces, whether it's the behavior of others, unforeseen circumstances, or even the news they consume. They often feel powerless because they have given that power away, unconsciously allowing their environment to dictate their thoughts and feelings. In conversations, they may blame, complain, or justify an action. For instance, a reactive person might say, I can't succeed because my boss doesn't support me, or I wouldn't have failed if the circumstances were different. Life, for them, is something that happens around them rather than something they participate in actively. This mindset can create a cycle of frustration, stress, and dissatisfaction because the reactive individual is constantly responding rather than initiating. On the other hand, a proactive mindset recognizes that while we cannot control every situation, we can always control our response to it. A proactive person understands that circumstances are neutral, and it is our interpretation and choices that determine the outcome. They accept full responsibility for their actions, behaviors, and attitudes. For example, if faced with the same unsupportive boss, a proactive individual might ask, how can I adapt my approach to succeed? Or, what can I do to influence my circumstances positively? This mindset shifts the focus from blaming external conditions to taking ownership of one's life. Proactive people don't wait for permission or ideal conditions to act. They understand that waiting for the perfect moment often leads to stagnation. Instead, they look for ways to create opportunities and solutions, even in challenging situations. They anticipate challenges and prepare for them, which allows them to respond deliberately rather than react impulsively. While reactive individuals expend energy resisting circumstances, proactive individuals channel their energy into constructive action, building momentum and confidence over time. The difference between being reactive and proactive goes beyond mere behavior. It shapes character and determines long-term outcomes. Proactive individuals cultivate resilience, self-discipline, and problem-solving abilities because they see life as a series of choices, not a sequence of uncontrollable events. They understand that true freedom comes not from controlling the world around them, but from mastering the response to it. By consciously choosing actions aligned with values and goals, they create a life of purpose, influence, and growth. Proactive individuals understand the importance of focusing their energy on things they can influence, rather than wasting time and emotions on matters beyond their control. Life is full of circumstances that cannot be changed immediately, whether it's the economy, other people's behavior, or unexpected setbacks. Reactive people often get caught up in these uncontrollable factors, letting frustration, anxiety, or resentment dominate their responses. They expend enormous mental and emotional energy worrying about situations they cannot change, which leaves them feeling powerless and stuck. For example, someone might obsess over a colleague's criticism or a decision made by their organization, and in doing so, they lose sight of what they could actually do to improve the situation. By contrast, proactive individuals train themselves to recognize the difference between what is within their sphere of influence and what lies outside it. Focusing on influence means taking intentional steps where one's actions can create meaningful results. It is about identifying the areas where effort will make a difference and directing attention there consistently. For instance, instead of complaining about a difficult work environment, a proactive person might improve their skills, adjust their approach, or find constructive ways to collaborate with colleagues. They understand that energy spent reacting to uncontrollable circumstances is wasted, but energy spent improving themselves, influencing others positively, or solving problems creates tangible progress. This mindset also shifts responsibility from external forces to personal choice. Rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" a person focused on influence asks, "What can I do about this situation?" It's a subtle but powerful distinction, because it changes the lens through which challenges are viewed. By concentrating on influence, proactive individuals regain a sense of control over their lives, regardless of external chaos. They become architects of their own outcomes rather than victims of circumstance. Over time, consistently focusing on one's sphere of influence expands it. Small, deliberate actions build credibility, confidence, and momentum. People begin to notice results, opportunities multiply, and their ability to affect larger areas of life grows. This is why proactive people often experience more fulfillment and achievement. They channel their energy toward things they can impact, rather than allowing themselves to be drained by uncontrollable events. By cultivating the habit of focusing on influence, individuals develop resilience, clarity, and purpose. They learn to respond to challenges with thoughtfulness rather than impulsiveness, and they become solutions-oriented in every aspect of life. This approach not only improves outcomes but also strengthens character, fostering a sense of empowerment that reactive individuals rarely experience. The language we use reflects the way we think, and it profoundly influences whether we live reactively or proactively. Reactive individuals often speak in ways that limit their own power and responsibility. They use words like, "I can't," "if only," or "I have to," which suggest that circumstances or other people control their lives. For example, a reactive person might say, "I can't speak up because my boss will get angry," or "If only the traffic wasn't so bad, I could make it on time." This type of language reinforces a mindset of helplessness, shifting accountability outward and giving away personal power. Over time, repeated use of reactive language shapes habitual thinking, making it easier to blame, complain, and feel frustrated when challenges arise. Proactive people, in contrast, choose language that empowers them and reinforces their sense of responsibility. They use words like, "I choose," "I will," and "I prefer," which demonstrate ownership of their actions and decisions. For instance, instead of saying, "I have to attend this meeting," a proactive person might say, "I choose to attend this meeting because it aligns with my goals." This subtle change in phrasing reinforces control over decisions and fosters a mindset of intentionality. Language becomes not just a way to communicate with others, but a tool for communicating with oneself, shaping thoughts, actions, and ultimately, life outcomes. The connection between language and behavior is powerful because the words we use influence perception. When we speak reactively, we reinforce the belief that life happens to us, which often leads to passivity, frustration, and inaction. Conversely, when we speak proactively, we reinforce the understanding that we are responsible for our choices, which leads to empowerment, confidence, and purposeful action. Proactive language encourages problem-solving and constructive engagement, even in difficult circumstances, and it fosters resilience because it frames challenges as opportunities to exercise choice and initiative. Developing proactive language requires awareness and consistent practice. It means noticing the subtle reactive phrases in everyday speech and replacing them with words that reflect agency, responsibility, and possibility. Over time, this conscious shift rewires thinking patterns, making it easier to act in alignment with values and goals. It strengthens self-discipline, encourages accountability, and ultimately expands the sphere of influence in one's life. By choosing words intentionally, proactive individuals create a foundation for behaviors, habits, and decisions that reflect empowerment rather than passivity. Every moment in life presents a choice, and the power to choose defines whether we live reactively or proactively. Reactive individuals often feel trapped by circumstances, believing that life happens to them and that they have little control over outcomes. They wait for conditions to change, for others to act, or for opportunities to appear, thinking that their situation is largely determined by forces outside themselves. This mindset fosters a sense of helplessness, frustration, and dependency on external validation. Decisions are delayed, responsibility is deflected, and energy is wasted worrying about what cannot be changed. For example, a reactive person might say, "I can't start my own business until the economy improves." Or, "I wouldn't feel stressed if my team just did their part." The underlying theme is always waiting, reacting, or blaming, which keeps them stuck in a cycle of inaction. Proactive individuals, however, understand that while they cannot control every situation, they can always control how they respond. Each moment is an opportunity to act in alignment with values, goals, and principles. The proactive mindset is grounded in the understanding that freedom lies not in controlling the world around us, but in controlling our choices and actions within it. When faced with challenges, a proactive person asks, "What can I do right now to move forward?" Or "How can I respond in a way that reflects my values?" This shift from external blame to internal responsibility transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth and learning. The power of choice also extends to daily habits, interactions, and attitudes. Proactive individuals do not allow mood, circumstances, or other people's behavior to dictate their actions. They take initiative to solve problems, communicate effectively, and improve their own skills or situation. Small, deliberate choices accumulate over time, building momentum, confidence, and resilience. Each conscious decision reinforces a sense of agency and strengthens the habit of responsibility. This is why proactive individuals are often able to achieve goals, maintain relationships, and handle adversity more effectively than reactive individuals who are constantly responding to life instead of shaping it. Ultimately, recognizing the power of choice is a reminder that no matter what happens externally, we are never powerless. Every decision, response, and action is an opportunity to demonstrate ownership of our lives. By choosing thoughtfully and intentionally, we transform challenges into growth, setbacks into learning, and ordinary moments into opportunities for influence. This awareness creates a life driven not by reaction, but by deliberate, meaningful action, and it fosters a sense of purpose, confidence, and empowerment that reactive living rarely allows. Choosing to live proactively rather than reactively is not a one-time decision, but a lifelong practice. It begins with awareness, recognizing the difference between reacting to circumstances and consciously choosing responses that align with our values and goals. It grows through language, habits, and focus. As we direct our energy toward what we can influence and take responsibility for every choice we make, life will always present challenges, unexpected events, and people beyond our control, but the power to respond with intention remains ours. By embracing proactivity, we shift from being victims of circumstance to creators of our own destiny. We cultivate resilience, clarity, and purpose, and we learn that even small choices have the power to transform our future. Every action taken with conscious intention strengthens our ability to navigate life with confidence and integrity, proving that the greatest freedom and fulfillment come not from changing the world around us, but from mastering the way we engage with it. Thank you so much. Kindly follow this channel and subscribe for more educational content.